Hello everybody, this is Travis. Welcome to Tpull's Corner for a special event. This is the early access event for Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. So this is not my normal account, this is the VIP account. That's why you've got all these extra golden gems. They wanted to make sure that we had all the resources that we could while we show off the new stuff. And our first deck of the day is called Tempting. And we're going to be playing multiple decks today, and the deck list will be published in case I'm going too fast. But I looked through all of the cards, and we have this new emblem. The Ring. The Ring Bearer is legendary and can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. That's the first ability. So this is an emblem. You get it whenever you have a card that says the ring tempts you. Whenever you have a spell, you'll get this first ability where you can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. You never lose that ability. So you can lose the creature that has the ring, right? Whenever the ring first tempts you, if you have a creature on the battlefield, that creature will automatically become the ring bearer. If you have more than one creature, you'll have your choice. So if you have 3 creatures, you get to choose which of those 3 creatures becomes the ring bearer. Whenever the ring tempts you, you can choose a different ring bearer or have it stay the same ring bearer. But you never lose your ability. So the second time the ring will tempt you, you get the second ability here. Whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. The third ability, whenever your ring bearer becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at end of combat. So very kind of adjacent to Death Touch, not quite the same as Death Touch, but still kind of devastating. And the fourth, whenever your ring bearer deals combat damage to a player, each opponent loses 3 life. So imagine a ring bearer with all 4 of those abilities coming at you. It's going to be fun. So the card that jumped out at me was Frodo, Sauron's Bane. Frodo is a legendary halfling citizen. It starts off as a citizen. You pay a hybrid mana, so either 2 white, 2 black, or 1 white and 1 black mana. And it becomes a halfling scout with base power and toughness 2, 3, and lifelink. So I like the life gain aspect of it here. This is the life gain portion of my deck. And then finally, for 3 black mana, if Frodo's a scout, it becomes a halfling rogue with a new ability. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game if the ring has tempted you 4 or more times this game. Otherwise, the ring just tempts you once. So this is the alternate win scenario basically in the set. And as soon as I saw that, I knew I wanted to play around with the ring tempts you mechanic. What better way to play around with the mechanic than also with the alternate win condition at the same time? So we have a ton of cards in here that allow the ring to tempt us, and hopefully I didn't overbalance it too much. We'll find out. Here's what else we got. We got Golem's Bite. If target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, you can exile the Golem's Bite from your graveyard and have the ring tempt you if you like. Equipment, Barrow Blade. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever a creature blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, that creature loses all abilities until end of turn. 1 Reprieve, return target spell to its owner's hand and then draw a card. Samwise, the stout-hearted legendary halfling peasant. We can flash him in on our opponent's turn. When it enters the battlefield, you choose up to 1 target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to your hand, then the ring tempts you. So if they take out Frodo, maybe we just bring Frodo right back to our hand if we've got 2 open mana. 2 copies of Slip on the Ring. This is a blink card with a ring tempts you chaser. Exile target creature you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. Took Reaper, halfling peasant. When it dies, the ring tempts you. 2 copies of Call of the Ring. At the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you. So if you get this out, not only are you going to get to your 4th ability pretty fast, but you get to choose a new ring bearer each time. Whenever you choose a creature as your ring bearer, you may pay 2 life and draw a card. So there's our draw card advantage. Morgul Knife Wound is an enchantment. We can enchant creature. It gets -3 to its power and has at the beginning of your upkeep exile the creature unless you pay 2 life. Nice little artifact food, Lembas. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 1, then draw a card, which is nice. Then you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life. When it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, its owner shuffles it into the library so we can get it back again. And that could be even more value. Boromir, Warden of the Tower, legendary human soldier for 3/3. He's got Vigilance. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Meantime, we can also sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn. When you sacrifice Boromir, the ring will tempt you. Now, this card is kind of like, I know I only have one copy, but there's been so much of like Breach the Multiverse type cards playing around in the meta recently that I figured what I'm doing is maybe a little bit different than a lot of what the other YouTube creators are doing. A lot of them are used to playing Mythic Ranked. They'll create a nice little shell, and then they'll add in 3 or 4 Lord of the Rings cards, and presto changeo, you know, you've got a Legends of the Rings Mythic Rank deck because you've got that nice little control shell that you already had in Mythic Rank that you've proven. What we did here is we did all Legend of the Rings cards pretty much. There's like one exception. And so this is just in case we come up with a bunch of stuff like, you know, Breach the Multiverse type decks. If we have this out, then maybe we can just nip that in the bud, right? We got the Black Breath. Creatures your opponent controls get -1/-1 until end of turn, and the ring tempts you. Claim the Precious. Destroy target creature, and then the ring tempts you. Inherited Envelope. It's an artifact for 3. When it enters the battlefield, the ring tempts you, plus you get to add 1 mana of any color, so a little bit of mana dork help there. 1 Mithril Coat. It's a legendary artifact. Flash it in on your opponent's turn, hopefully. It's got indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, you attach it to target legendary creature you control. The equipped creature has indestructible. If I wanted to put it on like Took Reaper, I'd have to pay 3 mana for it, because Took Reaper is like the only non-legendary creature in my deck. Lord of the Rings is full of legendary creatures because in this case legendary matters, right? So there's a lot of spells that if you have legendary, it adds you an extra benefit. So this is really to help keep Frodo alive. Faramir, Field Commander, legendary human soldier for 3/3. 4 mana to get down. At the beginning of your end turn, if a creature died under your control this turn, you draw a card. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Faramir as your ring bearer, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Now for Wrath, now for Rune, for 4 mana, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. They gain vigilance till end of turn, and the ring tempts you. Enchantment Saga, 1 ring to rule them all. The ring tempts you, then each player mills cards equal to your ring bearer's power. Second, destroy all non-legendary creatures. In the 3rd chapter, each opponent loses 1 life for each creature in that player's graveyard. 3 copies of Banish from Adoris. Cost 2 less, so it starts off at 5. It only costs 3 if it targets a tapped creature, and you get to exile target creature. So between that and Claim the Precious, that's most of my interaction for creature removal right there. Witch King of Angmar, Wraith Noble, legendary. 5/3 flyer. When 1 or more creatures deals combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn, and the ring tempts you. So that's going to be kind of cool. You can also discard a card, and Angmar, the Witch King, gains indestructible until end of turn, but you do have to tap it. And finally, the Ring Race. For 6 mana, a 5/5 Wraith Knight. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -3/-3 till end of turn. If that creature is legendary, its controller also loses 3 life. When the ring tempts you, return Ring Race from your graveyard to your hand. So that works out well with me, I think, because when we get the second ability, whenever your ring bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard a card, we can discard this every single time, and then the ring will just tempt us again, and we'll get it back into our hand. Okay, so for lands, we've got 1 copy of Minas Tirith, legendary land. You can draw a card. You activate only if you attacked with 2 or more creatures this turn. We've got 1 copy of Barad-dûr for grins and giggles. You can amass orcs with it. Let's see. What else do we have? We have Great Hall of the Citadel. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend it only to cast legendary spells. And the 1 non-Lord of the Rings card I have, 2 copies of Field of Ruin. And that's it. The deck list will be published below. Let's go in and do a battle. Let's find some opponents. Let's test everything out. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. I felt like I was at the races this morning. There's a certain amount of time when everything starts, and you can't start before then. And I get the feeling all of us with early access were like right there, like race cars at the starting line, just ramping our engines, just waiting for everything to be ready to go. Alright, let's start with Call of the Ring. I need a creature. Looks like a ramp deck that we're facing here. Let's wait. Let's see. Let's wait, and we'll just flash in Samwise in a second. Aragorn the Uniter. That's a lot of stuff. Let's go ahead and flash in Sam now. Ooh, we can draw a card. We can draw another card. Destroy target creature. We can draw another card. Frodo! Sweet. We attack. We draw a card, and we get to discard a card. I guess... Let's go ahead and just get rid of the land. We got 4 lands already. And they lose 3 life. We've already got all 4 abilities from the ring. That's a March of the Machines card. I'm going to choose Frodo to bring the ring bearer. I don't... Do we need to keep losing life? Yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can get. Okay, we'll play that. Claim the Precious. Get rid of Omnia. Keep choosing him to be the ring bearer. We don't need to draw any cards, but we are going to have Frodo become lifelink. We'll attack with both of our people. What do we want to get? Oh, they don't even hang around. Oh, that's kind of not allowed. That may be... Okay, so let's cover some of the ground rules for the early access event. All of us VIP players were told, we want you to see the full battle. We want you to understand how all of the cards work. We want you to understand... we want you to just sort of get your money's worth. We want you to see the full movie. And so what a lot of people are used to doing, if they know they're going to lose, they scoop. They just leave. Now here we had a little bit of time here because we just made him... We turned Frodo from a halfling into a scout. We still would have needed one more turn to turn it into a halfling rogue in order for him to lose the game. So he was going to lose 4 points of damage here and then lose 3 life from the 4th part of the emblem aspect. And so that would have been 7. He would have been down to 6. But they would have needed to... They would have had a chance to maybe kill Frodo, perhaps, or block it, or I don't know. There were things they could have done. But you're not supposed to scoop before. We're not going to bother reporting people. This is like the first battle. But I think there are a lot of people that have like muscle memory that they're used to playing ranked and they're used to going fast. And when they know it's hopeless, they leave. We've got to try and fight that habit. We've got to try and fight against that while we're doing the early access event. So I'm going to apologize in advance if I do that. But even if it looks hopeless, we're supposed to hang in and just let the match go to its conclusion. One thing I do want to point out, this emblem reminds me of the Adventures of the Forgotten Realms emblems in terms of the maps. Whenever we'd venture into the dungeon, we'd get to see the 3 maps over here on this side. So it's occupying the same area of space here as the Planeswalker emblems would. Right? I think the venture into the dungeon maps were up here. But this is still very, very similar, I think. So if you're familiar with the Adventures of the Forgotten Realms expansion, this emblem ring shouldn't be a big deal for you. Anyway, that worked out pretty well. And like I predicted, they're using other cards. I don't know how many of us are going to be using only Lord of the Rings cards. I imagine that the vast majority of people are going to be using their entire toolkit, the entire arsenal. And you can't really blame them for that. It might mean that we are in a bit of a disadvantage. Here's MTG Malone. He's a big-time YouTuber. And I don't have any black mana, which is not the greatest. Gotta go get a deck sleeve. We'll do that later. And Skrelv has broken the game. Come on, there we go. Alright, Toxic. If we give Skrelv the knife wound, is it worth keeping that creature around just for the ability to provide expert? No, they get rid of it. They don't want to pay the life. Alright, he's got minus Tirith and Cave of Koilos. I need white mana, so let's get rid of minus Tirith. And we'll go get my second color. And then, Frodo! And they have Call of the Ring. We will do Took Reaper. Since they don't have a creature down, they have the one, but they don't have anything to put onto. So what we're going to do is we're going to change Frodo, give it lifelink, and then attack. And we have Reprieve. They do Samwise. They can pay 2 life. Draw the card. Do they want to attack? For damage, exile my creature. Return it under my control. The ring tempts you. Designate Frodo to be the ring bearer. Still do 2 points of damage. Now they get the third one. And they get the Skrelv back. And what can we do? We'll still have Frodo be the ring bearer. We've only got 2 abilities now. Let's go ahead and bring in Lembas. And yes, we will take that. And actually, no attacks. We need Took Reaper to be a chump blocker. And they actually just milled 3 lands. They've got all 4 abilities now for the ring, thanks to Call of the Ring. And now they can sacrifice this at any time and make things indestructible. Let's go ahead and bring in the Witch King. If they want to attack with anything, they have to sacrifice stuff. Do we want to attack? No. No, we don't. Down to 6 because they've been paying this 2 life to draw cards the whole time. That's why they've got so many cards. They've got their own version of Frodo. Great minds think alike. What do we want to do? How about Call of the Ring? And alright, I think we're done. I think we just use Reprieve. It's down to 5 life. Oh, you know what? I messed up. I could have just attacked with Witch King, right? I wasn't even looking. If they attack with Frodo, they have to sacrifice it though, right? They've got Skrelv if they want to give it hexproof. But I can do any color. What are you gonna do? Bring in Bilbo's ring. Okay. They do nothing. Ring Bearer. Pay 2 life, draw a card. Play the land. Can I just come through and hit you over the head? One, 3, and flying. No, return spell to owner's hand. Baromir will go. Oh, that spell. There we go. Good game. Okay, we got him. Can't believe I beat MTG Malone. In a mirror match, no less. Alright, let's keep it going. It's fun. You always wonder. It's like when you have a best-selling author and they come out with an awesome book, you don't really have concerns, right? You've got a new name to look for when they come out with new books. But on the author, some of the authors, a lot of the authors, have this imposter syndrome where they're like wondering, do I have another good book in me? Can I do this again? Was this an accident? That kind of thing. We're always kind of wondering that with Magic the Gathering sets when something else comes out. It's like, did they screw the pooch? Did they mess things up? Is this actually going to be any good? It looks good. I looked through the whole deck list. The cards are exciting. The cards are fun. Random card from your library into your graveyard. Okay. Yeah, let's just get rid of you now. Nobody wants to play with that kind of stuff. Frodo! Frodo's here. We pass the turn. We want to keep 2 mana open for Slip on the Ring as much as possible. They're going to get a lot of mana if they keep getting treasures. And I can just make this halfling right there. And I can exile this, have the ring tempt you, choose Frodo as the ring bearer, and now can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, so I can just go in and attack. As long as I don't go over 2, these type of things cannot block Frodo. I just need 1 black mana to get some of my removal done. Okay, Took is a good blocker, right? We attack again. Like having the lifelink, I need 2 more black mana. But I missed a land drop. They're going to choose to lose the least amount of life. They've got 7 mana. And they're digging. They're going to go try and look for something in here that can help. They do have some creatures that only have power 2. They're going to have us fight? That's a 1 mana spell. I don't want to use Reprieve. How about we just exile what I own? Bring it back. Ring tempts me again. I'll choose Frodo again, but he reset to a 1/2 creature. When we're enter the battlefield, creatures get... Okay, so let's go ahead and do Took Reaper. We have Trample, so it doesn't matter. Took Reaper's going to die, but the ring tempts again. Frodo automatically is chosen. We don't have to select them. Okay, so we've got 3. I think... I guess we just attack. And let's get rid of... What do we get rid of? I guess we get rid of that. We do the damage. Put that down. Let's go ahead and get rid of one of these. Let's get rid of the Vine-Souled Spider. Okay, we've got all 4 now. We need Frodo to survive, and we need a 3rd black mana source, and then we can hit the opponent and win the game. They need to be thinking about drawing a card maybe just to dig for something. No, they choose just the one option. They could choose all 3. Oh no. They can sacrifice 1. Oh, they don't. You don't? Okay. That's kind of cool. How about this? Let's put out the Witch King. Frodo still can't be blocked. Faramir. I feel like the other cards are more important. Ah, my kingdom for a 3rd swamp. Okay, they lose 3 life because we've already got the 4th ability, but we're all tapped out, so Frodo is vulnerable. I'm kind of surprised they didn't sacrifice this creature and do that to destroy Frodo. They go digging again. What kind of stuff can they get? Down to 5 life. That cannot block Frodo. We don't care if you hit me. We're not blocking you. You have to sacrifice both of those. Choose a creature to be the ring bearer. We're still going to keep the same ring bearer. Oh, they only have to sacrifice 1? Let's see, each one sacrifices a creature. Okay. A creature. You can be destroyed there. Still the same ring bearer. We will go ahead and have lifelink added. And we didn't quite get the alternate win scenario. And they scoop instead of waiting for the hit to actually take place. and let me figure out which card to discard. Alright. Let's go in and show you the deck one more time. I call it Tempting. And it worked pretty well. Not bad for my first early access event in my first deck. Ring Race didn't come up. I playtested that once against Sparky, and it worked pretty well as far as having the second ability out. Hang on, there. Hey, I got to keep on it. Whenever your Ring Bearer attacks, draw a card, then discard a card. I could keep throwing this into my graveyard, and then I had so many cards with the Ring Tempts You that Ring Race would just pop right back up into my hand. So it was an easy, constant, eternal discard spell. Took Reaper makes an excellent chump blocker, the only non-legendary card around. That helps you get up to the fourth one. Also, Call of the Ring is really good. We didn't get that to play with as much, but you can get up to your fourth ability really fast with this enchantment out. Plus, the card draw can be really nice. Just got to watch your life total. But that's what we got Frodo with the lifelink for, to hopefully offset that. And we had Samwise sort of in our corner so that we could bring Frodo back there in case they did destroy Frodo. But we had to have you have to be careful with this card because it has to be on the timing. You can only choose the target permanent in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield that very turn. So you can't just use Samwise to bring back Frodo later. You have to keep the 2 mana open. Remember that it is flash. It can happen if your opponent kills the creature on your turn. That kind of thing. So there are some cards that didn't pop up here. We didn't get to use Banish from Edoras too much. All right. But I feel good about the initial construction of this, and I like all of these cards. It's not like there's a bad card here, but I'm always interested in your comments and your impression of the set and what you see, what you think of the new mechanic, what you think of the ring. And I'm assuming that a lot of people that play Magic are fans of Lord of the Rings, so there's a lot of natural synergy between these two intellectual properties. So I'm anticipating there should be less of the normal chagrin that comes with these Universes Beyond things, where every now and then there's grumbling about, oh, well, you know, these aren't really Magic. They shouldn't invade my game. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? Maybe sometimes you could feel that way, but I don't feel that way about Lord of the Rings. I feel like it's a perfect match for Magic the Gathering. So that is our first deck. We'll come back with another deck later, and we'll just keep going as much as we can during this early access event until the timer runs out on us. This has been Travis for Tpull's Corner with the Magic the Gathering's early access event for Lord of the Rings. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks. Have a good one.